Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Or good afternoon at this point. Sorry, I'm running a minute or two late. Of course, I turned my computer on and it decides it wants to update. Hey, what's going on, guys? Let's say good morning, everybody. Here we got Ace. Nice to see you here this morning. Damien, Pacers, and Four Leaf for Luck. What's going on? And Bill D, what's up, man? How's it going over there in Kathy or in the West Coast? I think, yeah. You're the early bird, so you're at 9 a.m. over there on the West Coast, aren't you? Excuse me. Yeah, so I was woke up this morning. I spend a lot of time trying to think of things to talk about because people ask me questions all the time, but I get so many different subjects that it's hard to come up with one specific topic. So we're gonna just continue with the basics for beginners and stuff. I'm gonna talk about some grains I did. I got some stuff to show you. I don't know how the quality is going to be. I am working on trying to figure out a better camera system. I did that live Agar Cup pour the other night, and I did notice the quality is not there with bright lights and stuff, but I'll get better. It's a webcam, so there's not really much I can do about it. Does everything sound okay? The volume and everything, I can change things if anybody needs me to. 5280, good morning. Derek, what's going on? Kit, what's up? And again, if anybody has any questions, please post them in the thing over there. You're down there, depending on what you're doing for a streaming service or whatever. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, good morning, Sandy. I ended up messing with the gain by accident when I moved the mic around the other day to do that live pour because I wanted to try to use the new mic so it would be better for the flow hood. And I actually listened to it afterwards, and you couldn't hear the flow hood at all. I was a little muffled too, but that's because I had wrapped a towel around the back of the mic here. I don't know if you see the mic. Well, I'd wrapped the towel around the back, so just the front side was picking up noise, which I think worked out pretty well. It did hide the sound from the flow hood, but I think I can do it better. I got some packaging that came in with some nice foam, so I'm gonna use that and see how that works. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I've been watching all this stuff about people getting their accounts canceled and all this stuff, and everybody's going on Patreon or this or that. I don't want to do Patreon. It's just the something about Patreon just sounds so, I don't know, greedy. So I did find a service now. It's called Ko-Fi. It is a pay service, but I'm offering it free. You can go on there and see everything I post free. You don't have to pay. I know it's the same with Patreon, but it does also offer tipping. And I did get a couple tips already from live feed on Friday, which I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much to the guys that did it. Every little bit helps towards doing more and more techs and just growing stuff and showing you guys and getting better equipment so that it looks better. So when I do these lives, I can get higher quality, visuals for you guys. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing there. I posted on my Instagram. It's also going across the bottom of the screen if you want to check it out. I already started posting some pictures. So you can check that out and just, if you enjoy it. So that should be interesting. I want to have a backup place to have stuff, pictures and stuff. I'm not sure if I can put videos yet. I know I can link videos from like YouTube. I can link these videos directly there, but I don't know if I can post videos there yet. So it might change again in the future, but I just definitely want to have a single backup. And it's a place that I can work on getting, if I do happen to trade or sell with anybody, they can pay through there and buy stuff like a Etsy type thing. So hopefully that'll work out. I mean, I would love to be able to start, earning a little bit towards this hobby. It does get expensive. But yeah, everybody's been great so far. I do, I appreciate so many people for doing everything they've done for me. One other thing real quick. I'm going to put up another banner. Check out Stealthy Spores. Their new deck came out. They have a bunch of new cultivators, myself included. Yay. They got, Angel for Princess of Cubansies. They got the Myco Mamas. They got myself. They got a bunch of new cultivators and vendors on there. The new deck just dropped, or it is dropping. They posted on Facebook. I linked it in my IG. I think I sent a bunch of you guys the link, but it was hard. I couldn't post it on my Facebook right away or on my Instagram. So It's on my Facebook, on my Instagram, or to certain people. But check that out. The website is scrolling across the bottom of your screen, and that is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Stealthy Sports. You're doing great stuff. That game looks incredibly fun. I can't wait to try it. Nerdy, good morning. Let's see who else is here. Hey, good morning, Daniel. Married Myco. No worries, enjoy. We're just checking the comments, see what's going on. So, anyways, I wanted to share a tech I figured out, I adapted to my situation. So, anyways, I had a whole oats a while back, and I was having real issues with moisture content and just not sterilizing properly. And I ran into a page from Renegade Mycology or Renegade Mushrooms or something like that. Renegade Mycology. He does a lot with like like the what is it? It's Ganoderma lucidea, the reishi. So he does stuff like that, and he does a lot of videos showing how to do things. Great videos. I've learned a lot. One that really caught my attention was when he was hydrating his rye. I think he was using rye berries at the time. But what he did was he soaked them, or however you hydrate them, soaking, cooking, whatever. But with the drying process, when you're drying them before you put them in the jars, he used wheat germ. Okay, just regular old or wheat bran. I'm sorry, not wheat germ, wheat bran. So he took like a tote, poured all his oats after they went through the colander. He put them in a tote. As they were steaming, he started spreading a couple cups of wheat bran on them and just mixing them in. And this absorbed all the excess water, but didn't take the water away. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like a storage, a water storage inside the grains. And what ended up happening is I pressure cooked them and they came out absolutely wonderful. They're perfectly moisturized. They're nice and fluffy. They're working great. I have some colonizing right over here. I'll show you those in a minute. But I think it's a good trick to get rid of some of that moisture without having to sit there and think about it too much. So it absorbed all the moisture that it needed, that was extra. And then it just allowed the grains to stay nice and hydrated during the pressure cooker cycle or whatever you want to call the cycle. But I don't know if you can see, but they're just beautifully hydrated. They just nice and smooth. And I put these little plastic condoms on my jars now to keep anything off of them. Thank you, Wayne Myco, for that suggestion. If anybody hears from Wayne Myco, please contact him to contact me. I want to thank him and I want to talk to him. And I'm really kind of worried because I haven't seen him since November 8th online. And I hope nothing happened, but I'd like to talk to you, Wayne. Hit me up. I just want to talk. I have a bunch of cultures you wanted. I got to send you still, too. And I don't want to send them to a empty mailbox if you moved or something, because I know you were thinking about moving or whatever. But yeah, so the little plastic condom caps, these are kind of cool. They're like little shower caps, but for they're not shower caps, they're made for plates, dishes when you're saving something. So what I do is I just take the little cap, I spread them out, and I just put them over it, and that keeps anything from landing on the rim. I mean, it's not going to sterilize them, but when you go to take this off in front of the flow hooder in your still air box, you can take the cap off, put this in front of the flow, and put it back on when you're done. It keeps just extra stuff from falling on your grain jars, or your LCs, or anything you do. It's actually kind of cool. It's like aluminum foil, but aluminum foil always gets crinkled on me and screwed up. These do too, but they're like a quarter of a cent a piece. So, you get like 500 of them for like $2. They're cheap, really cheap. Let's see the questions. So, anyways, yeah. So the wheat bran over the oats, and then what happened is it didn't absorb all the it just stayed in there, and it's wheat, so it's basically the same as the oats or the bran inside. My father's upstairs nailing something to the floor or hammering something. I don't know. But anyways, so it worked out really well. Now, the bird seed I got going. It is going great. I tried this bird seed. Look at that. That's a nice puck. That's since the 2nd, and it's already growing out pretty good. So it's jumping off the agar to the grain really quickly. And it's also working in my bag tech that I poured a couple jars inside some Ziploc bags. And this is it's a little foggy right now. I just pulled it out of the incubator to show you guys. But it's all colonizing beautifully. It's kind of cool. I did this just for fun to see what would happen, but you can see it's all colonizing. All turning white. I got to shake these up in a couple days, but this one's already been shaken once. After this was done on 12/2, so from the second, this is almost 50% colonized, and I need to shake it. So it's working great in the Ziploc bags. Now, what I did is I basically took a brand new Ziploc in front of the flow hood, brand new Ziploc bag. I opened the jar of grain, poured it in, but I wanted to do 2 pints in each one of those because this is actually odd for me to make quarts this size. Normally, my size jars are this size. They're a little bit smaller. And like, again, this one's just, it's working out great. It's jumping off real quick. And yeah, so the oats are working great. Birdseed's working great. I had one of the oats here. Oh, here we go. This is the Oat Tech with the wheat brand. And this was done on the 5th. And that agar chunk is already jumping off, or it's already jumping off the agar. Boom. So that's just a little tiny piece I put in there, maybe 1/2 inch by 3/4 of an inch. There's a couple of them in there, but it jumped off within 2 days. So that's pretty cool. When the speed, what I mean by jump off is it jumps from when you put the agar cut into a jar. There's no mycelium growth at that moment except for what's on the agar, and then all of a sudden the mycelium grows around the edges of the agar and then jumps off the agar onto the grain. And if I see that happen quickly, I kind of feel that's a good sign. And that's what's been happening with this wheat brand and the birdseed I'm using. Now I'm going to make a video on how I'm doing the birdseed because that too is also very easy. It's a little 2-minute, or it's you clean it all up, you rinse it, and you take all the sunflower seeds off. I'm using a new birdseed from Walmart that has really not much else in it. It's just got milo, millet, and some either rye or wheat berries. And then it has sunflower seeds. But when you rinse it off before you cook it, you basically just pour water in and all the sunflower seeds surface, and you just scrape as many of them as you can off. Now, the way the tech is working is you basically take your pan full of birdseed and you pour water in, you clean it, you rinse it a couple times. Then you cover the birdseed in water by about 3 inches extra, and you bring that to a rolling boil for 5 minutes. Stop, drain all the water off, rinse it off a couple times, fill it back with water, boil it again for 5 minutes at a rolling boil. So once it gets up to a boil, 5 minutes, shut it off, strain it. Now you can do that 2 or 3 times. Check your grains. If they're starting to get soft, stop. If they're still like really, really hard, like maybe there's some reason it's not hydrating as quick or your timer's off, do a third one. Then what I did is I strained them. After they strained, I let them sit for a few minutes, not very long. I didn't let them dry completely. And then I jarred them up halfway in the jar. I went a little heavy. I went to like 3/4 and they expanded too much. That's why you see some of my jars are really full like this, because I didn't stop low enough. I went up to about here. So it expanded about 1 inch above it. So you want to go about halfway and leave yourself some headspace for air. But yeah, I filled them up halfway, 3/4 away, whatever. Pressure cooked them 90 minutes to 2 hours at 15, and they came out absolutely perfectly hydrated, perfectly shakeable. So anyways, I'm going to do a video on those next time I do some. I got about 10 more jars to knock, or 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 more jars I can inoculate of the whole wheat, or the whole oats. So once I'm done with those, I'll make some more birdseed and I'll do a video. So it'll probably come out about 2 weeks from now, give or take. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Nice to see you. I see you there. I'm just trying to get a few things off my mind before we get into questions and stuff. Let's see if anybody's posted anything. What was that? Could this mean I get to play triple triad with? I don't know how the game works at all, nerdy. So maybe, yeah, you're gonna be able to get a MycoAlan card soon. Absolutely. There's a bunch of new cards. I got it posted. I can't show you here because I don't know how to do it. I'm PC basically idiot. Getting this working the way I got it working is pretty much about all I can do. And as I learn features, I start using them, like the banner. I saw that Ed was doing it, so I learned how to do that. I found out about it. A couple things I want to do, but I can't do, is I want to have music or an intro video. Because I don't know if you guys remember that song that I did, the AI prompted mushroom song, and it's kind of a good beat. I want to put that in as my like introduction to my YouTube videos, but I'm just having an issue getting it to where I want it. And with StreamYard, I have to pay to be able to do that, and I just don't have the money to do a monthly subscription to anything. When I do things, I do them week by week or once at a time. So let's see if there's any questions I missed here. Like, see any 58 already 4-leaf. Okay, I thought I saw somebody asking something. Four-leaf, what are you talking about? Print. I like prints. Prints are cool. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to read the quick comments real quick. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Nerdy. Okay, cool. So we're caught up. So basically, yeah, the beginning steps. So basically, let's talk about mushrooms for a minute. How to grow mushrooms. So you're gonna have to find out how you want to grow your mushrooms. Whether you want to do a couple all-in-one bags, a couple of totes, a couple shoe boxes, a couple all-in-one. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. PF Tech would be how I would suggest everybody starts. Do half a dozen PF Tech jars. Learn how the mushrooms grow, the cycles, get your conditions right before you jump off into doing all-in-one bags, mushrooms, monototes, all this crap. You can do PF Tech jars for probably under $50 for everything. There's places that sell already made BRF jars. You can buy the equipment to make them really cheap. You get a case of these half pint white or regular mouth mason jars at Walmart. You probably pay $15 for those. You can find them used almost anywhere at the dump, on Messenger, on anything. You can find those things cheap. Marketplace, not Messenger. Or you might have some. If you don't have those, you could also use regular drinking glasses, like maybe like 8 to 10 ounce drinking glass that's a smooth edge so that there's no rim around it so you can't get anything out. And when you would take a drinking glass, you'd pack it with your BRF, put your vermiculite top layer, and then put 3 or 4 layers of aluminum foil. That's what I would do in that situation. You could also take the first couple layers of aluminum foil, put a couple holes with some micropore tape on it so that it does have an fresh air or gas exchange port, and then put a final layer of aluminum foil over that. So you can use like a regular drinking glass and just get the right shape and you're good. But PF Tech would be a good starting point because you could use spores, no problem. You could use LC, no problem. Spore syringe, I apologize. Let me rephrase that. You could use a spore syringe or a liquid culture syringe to do your PF Tech, which you can pretty much get one for $15 anywhere on the internet. Go to a reputable dealer or a home mycologist that is taking pride in their work. Don't just grab anybody. Grab somebody that actually stands behind what they do. I'm not a vendor yet, but I do have some. If anybody's really interested, I can make some up for you. It just takes a little longer because I do them per person, more like a boutique style. I make them one-on-one. I don't do bulk and all that stuff. So it's more of a private thing, one-on-one. Takes a little longer. It takes about a week to 2 to get them ready for you because I test everything as I get orders. Eventually, maybe someday I'll get bigger, but for now, that's what I can do. And I also have plates and stuff like that I'll make up. If anybody wants anything they see me having, they can give me a message and I'll talk to them about what I got. That's no problem whatsoever. My prices are reasonable. I also throw in a lot of extras if anybody needs anything. But anyways, so you get an LC or whatever. You make your BRF jars from your PF Tech. Do that first. Learn how to do that. Spend a couple months doing that, getting it down pat, and then decide what your next step is. Now, if you don't want to do that, you could try an all-in-one bag. All-in-one bags are going to be tricky for a new beginner. Because you have to have a lot of patience. They take a lot longer, usually. And you don't know if they're going to be any good. I only believe in one person right now that I know has them, and that's Jesse over at Jungle Pack. He's got a beautiful new setup that he does or not new. I mean, his setup is really cool. He does a pH balanced mixed all-in-one bag setup, and from all the reviews I've heard, are really great. I'm hoping to get one by the beginning of next year or the end of the month to try. I got to wait for, my money to come together. So once I get some extra funds for that, I'm going to do one live with you guys. I'll inoculate it live. I'll let it grow and show you guys how it goes and give you any information on the ups and downs of my system method with that. But the all-in-one bags take a little bit longer to colonize, to get ready, to break, to get the fruit, just in general, just because it's not going it might not take technically long total, Might be the same amount of time, but it seems like it takes longer because of the way people have said it takes a while for the grains to get going, especially from spore. You really got to be careful with spores too, all in one, because spores have to colonize or connect before they colonize. So they have to breed. You got spores, each one is a haploid, so they need to get to another one and make a connection and then grow mycelium. It's, breeding. So, anyways, just like men and women, technically, it's a little different. But so you got your all in one bag. If you're using spores, it's going to take a little bit longer than LC, but it's still going to take a little while. So you got to have patience. If you want to do grain jars and CVG, substrate, and shoe boxes, that would be where I would go first after seeing every video on YouTube and talking to as many people as I could first. Then I would decide to either do the PF Tech or go to the grain and substrate. Now, a lot of people go with all in one because that's what people are leaning towards. I don't think it's the best way, in my opinion. I'd like to try it. Maybe it will be someday. But the only person I've seen doing something really, really good is like I said, Jungle Fat Jesse. I've tried making some all-in-one things, and they've worked. I mean, I've put the grains and the CVG on top, but things I didn't know about was the acidity levels of the substrate, mixing in with the grain and this and that. I didn't know. I was just screwing around. And so anyways, yeah, if you can get yourself some grains, popcorn, whatever you want, even birdseed. If you got a bird feeder out back and you're filling it every week, take a couple cups of birdseed, put it in a couple of jars, or hydrate it, put it in a couple of jars. There's lots of text on how to do it. That's not what I'm getting at. Is how to do it. It's what you do. So you get a couple of jars, order yourself a plate or an LC, you put it in, you inoculate it, then you spawn it into some CVG. You could do all that for under $30 if you're savvy. If you know how to shop or you know how to do things, you could do that really cheaply as well. Drippy corn kit, yeah, that works too. Yep. Brown rice is really good. Drippy corn's good. I'm having actually a little bit more luck with the birdseed and the whole oats this time. Corn, like this, I got some corn inoculated here. This is popcorn. It inoculates really well. It breaks up really easy. This one here had some loose grain, so I let it just kind of. You can hear it. But anyways, that's because I shook it up yesterday. So corn work, drippy corn, that's drippy corn. And in a sense, it does have I put a lot less sugar in my drippy corn now. What I do is when I'm making corn on the final, or when I'm boiling it or hydrating it, I put in maybe a teaspoon of sorghum or caro or something. I just throw it in just as an additive. I'm not specifically calling it drippy corn anymore. It's just corn with a little bit of syrup in it just for fun. I also do a PC hydration of my corn. So it only takes 25 minutes and it's done. But anyways, so yeah, drippy corn is good. Regular corn is good. You can just use regular corn. Drippy corn with like caro syrup is basically corn with corn syrup. So that kind of doubles up the corn. So you gotta be, it doesn't really do as much as probably you would think. But it works. It's not gonna not work. It's gonna work. Yeah, definitely, Derek. Yeah, shotgun fruiting chamber, or even just a tote with a couple holes cut in it with some micropore tape. I mean, you can do it really easily. Like you take a tote like this. This is from dollar store. It's not that expensive. What you would do with something like this is you would drill holes across the bottom here, about 2 inches up from the bottom, maybe 3 inches up. You drill a whole bunch of holes all the way around the tote, like maybe 6 on this side, 2 or 3 on the end, and then up near the top, I would put like 1 hole on each side or 2 holes on the long side, bigger holes, like 2 inch or like 1 inch holes on the smaller tote. Like this is only a 14 quart tote. This is like an oversized 12 quart shoebox, just a little taller. Got it from the Dollar General or whatever. But yeah, it is that cheap right now, nerdy. It's not expensive. But yeah, as Kit was saying, brown rice, that works too. I've done it, but I have a problem with brown rice turning green after a couple weeks if I don't use the jars. It's like all of a sudden I'll grab a jar and the whole top will be green. I'm like, how did that happen? I think it's just the way rice is, and it's not. I mean, that's out of the PC, still sealed in the jar, no modified lids, nothing, and all of a sudden the top of the rice is green. Now I have to clarify that might be my fault because my old PC was not running very well. I was struggling to get things to 13 psi with that PC, but as of recently, I have a new PC. Thank you, Bubblegum, and it's running absolutely marvelous. It was running at perfect. It's running marvelous. I did do a hack video, or not video, some pictures on how to. Everybody wants to weigh down their jiggler, and one thing I noticed is the balance of the jiggler gets screwed up when you tape a bunch of quarters to it. But as my research was going, I was looking online. I noticed that Presto made jigglers with different size weights on it, and they take the weights off, but the weights are all in the same area. So if you take the black top off some of the Presto jigglers, it unscrews, and there's just a little screw stub sticking out. So you take a quarter, which weighs 5 grams, you drill a 5/16 or a quarter-inch hole in it, whatever fits. 5/16 is what I use. Drill a hole through the quarter, clean it up, put it over the screw the top back on, and it sits at 15 psi and does not move. And the jiggler just gently goes every 20 seconds. It's amazing. I did that just to try to see if it was worth it, because I was running like 15 to 14, brand new. It was running 14 to 15 on the gauge. So I said, you know what? I want to see if it works for people. So I took a cord. I just rested it on top of the thing at first. And I noticed as I was jiggling, it would lean, because if the quarter wasn't perfectly centered, it would lean. And then I took the thing off, and I'm like, oh, wait, I can unscrew it. And I tried getting a washer and just putting a washer. The washer was too light. It was just shit metal, But I drilled a hole in the quarter, and it worked perfect. And the quarter weighs exactly 5 grams, and that gets me at 15.5 psi at the max. But yeah, it's working great. Morning, or good afternoon, Mark. Nice to see you. Yeah, exactly, kid. Anything will work as long as it's sterile, as long. But so, anyways, the PC started working, and everything I've done since I've gotten that new PC has been perfect. I haven't had a grain jar go bad. I haven't had I poured agar the other night. Every one of them is just perfect. I started using them this morning, or last night. It was like 3 a.m. And they all look beautiful. Here, I'll grab one to show you. They came out really, really good. I had to pour ketchup cups because I'm running out of plates and I don't have any money to buy any more. But I poured the ketchup cups and they came out beautifully looking, perfectly clean. Doop. And I also poured my last 10 plates, which came out beautiful. But anyways, yeah, so you know what plates look like. So anyways, the new PC is running marvelous. Thank you very much, Bubblegum. I appreciate that Christmas gift. That was amazing. I couldn't have ever anticipated getting a gift that great. If anybody wants to outdo them, feel free. Just kidding. But yeah, it's been going great. And also my father, little did I know, he ended up buying me a autoclave. So that's going to be my Christmas present. I have a smaller autoclave which has everything, with the screw. It's like a dental autoclave. So I'm going to have that down here in my lab, so I don't have to bring things up and down. So I can sterilize my tools. I can sterilize my LC jars. I can sterilize small. It's still 18 liters. So I'll be able to sterilize small stuff in there and then do all my grains in the PC. So it's going to be, the next 6 months are going to be a lot nicer for my sterile tech, maybe longer, but I'm just saying the next 6 months are going to be fun. Morning, Ed. Yeah, that's I was doing the same thing, Ed. I was trying to wrap tape and stuff like that. Yeah, it worked good, but it seemed like lean a little bit too much for me on me. So that's when I came up with the idea of drilling the hole. And it's also it's not the 80 kilopascal weight. It's the 15 psi, which I think 95 kilopascal or something like that. It's the actual weight for 15 psi, so it was already at the right weight, but it was a little bit light, I think. But 5 grams was enough for that one to be up perfectly. Because I actually weighed everything. I made sure it was, nice and clean. There's some pictures on there. There's only a little piece of tape still stuck to the quarter, but pictures there. I'm going to do some more on it at another time. I just haven't had a chance. Good morning, Owen. JW Owen. Thanks, Mike. But yeah, so that was what I was doing with that. So now I think my sterile tech or my sterile PC stuff will be a lot better. And like I said, everything's kind of going good now. The grains are looking nice. They're hydrated nicely. I don't have to take 4 hours of messing with it. It's not that I don't mind PCing for 2, 3, 4 hours. Problem is when you're doing 4 hours and it's going up the temperature, then the seal blows out and you got to start all over, add new water, cool it off, open it up 3 or 4 times over the course of 4 hours. That's when I think I'm having issues. Now I just put it in. You okay, bud? Okay. Dog is barking. Anyways, yeah, that's exactly it. I wanted to slowly step up how much weight I added, because honestly, if my father saw it, he would flip out. He hates me messing with pressure cookers, which is true, but everybody does it. So yeah, What was I saying? Lost train of thought. Yeah. So, anyways, I got the pressure cooker and it is working marvelous. I can't believe the difference. And it's not that it's better. It's just it's different. I don't have to spend so much time messing with it. And it just seemed like I was getting it sterile, but it just took too long. And I don't think I was getting deep clean sterile that I should have been getting in the middle of the jars of grade and stuff. So that's why I think some of like the rice things, when I was putting like 16 pints into a pressure cooker or 7 quarts, whatever, the normal size or the normal amount of jars, I don't think I was getting deep enough sterilization. And that's what I happened. Like the middle jars, there was 1 or 2 in the middle or whatever. Those weren't getting fully heated in the center. So that's why I was having some things go bad, but going bad weeks after I've done it. I'm talking like, if this jar sat here for 3 weeks, it's probably going to be just fine. I was having some that would sit there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and all of a sudden it would be fine. Then 2 days later, it would be green, and I haven't touched it. It's just sitting there, and it's sealed. I'm talking like sealed, no modification, just sealed top jars. I was like, what is happening? And I thought maybe someone was coming in, opening my jars, and spitting on them. That's how green they went real quick. Do I have a red light in front of me? I do. I can change it. Why is something bothering you? I can change the light. Is that better? I have a light over here, but that's the only way that I can get decent viewing. I can shut this off. I can turn that off, that out. Is that better? No, that's not better. I don't like that. Whoa. Yeah, we can do that. That might work a little better. That's about the best I can do for now, guys. Sorry, my lighting in here is kind of iffy. Best I can do, guys. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, my head is red. I'm bald. It reflects any lights. I got a little light on the camera, so it's gonna get better in future. I just I got to do things one step at a time. I just don't have the. I could do blue. How's that look? Whoa. Green, red, purple. That looks kind of good. It's like a yellow jaundice kind of color. We can go with that one. Yeah, that's better. Anyways, yeah, yeah. I don't want to be a smurf, Mike. Yeah, I'm working on the setup, guys. I mean, I don't know much about audio, video, and stuff. Yeah, we'll stick with yellow for now. Eventually, I'll get better at this stuff, but I am what I am. If I screw up, I screw up. If I have bad coloring, I have bad coloring. I'm looking at a couple different 4K cameras that I saw, but they're just the one I saw was like $90, and I can't put that money out right now on that. I mean, they have some that are 300, 400, 500. I can't do that at all. Yeah, 4-leaf. I can have it flickering to different colors. I just don't want to mess with it that much right now. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, back to grains. So anyways, get your grains if you're gonna do like shoe boxes or even like the bigger totes like this. If you want to do this size, this is the the. Let's see, this is 14 quart, but I'm sure they make them in Sterilite size too. This is a dollar store 14. But you can take your thing, get some cheap ass trash bags at Walmart or what are these? These are value corner. These are from dollar store. These are 13-gallon. So all you need some cheap plastic trash bags, or you can even go even cheaper on Amazon and get these really, really thin like waste paper liners. They're small. They're they're about maybe 18 inches by whatever. They're small. They're only like 2-gallon bags. Get some bags so you can do liners if you want. I suggest doing liner to see how it works. You might want to try it without a liner if you instead of doing this size tote, guys. Honestly, if you're a beginner and you're just starting out, I would honestly do 2 6-quart shoe boxes from your spawn. Get a quart of spawn, like get a quart of spawn about this size, and do a couple shoe boxes with it, or maybe even 2 quarts. What I would use is the pints. I would use 2 of these pints that I make. because they're a little bit over halfway full. So they're about 2/3 full. So you end up with a little more than a quart. And two of those will do 2 shoe boxes nicely. And make up, 2 shoe boxes, do it, however you want. There's plenty of text. And try that first. Don't go all into freaking 55 quart this and this and that. Just start small. See if you even enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, why waste your money? If you do enjoy it, then you start looking into doing more and more things. I did it on the tech of, I started off doing everything, do it myself. I didn't have any money, so I was doing everything as inexpensively as possible, reusing, repurposing, and doing all that. So in that process, I had to adapt. I had to read, or not read. When I say read or stuff like that, I'm basically saying looking on YouTube, because I don't do a lot of reading. I don't like reading, and it puts me to sleep. So I would get maybe halfway down the first page and I'd be asleep. So it'd probably take me about a month to read a 30-page book. So what I do is I watch videos. So when I say I'm reading something, I'm just basically talking about watching videos and learning from the internet or reading online, so you don't get confused. So basically, when I was starting, I had to read a lot of stuff, watch all the videos, do all that stuff online to adapt. So I was watching everybody and taking a little bit from every different place. And I failed. I had many, many failures. I was lucky. My first 2 were successful. I did a GT on PF Tech. That was my first grow since I started back up about a year and a half ago. So I did PF Tech, BRF jars. I did like 6 of them, and I had GTs growing within 2 months. I don't know exactly the time period. I forget. And then I jumped from there into I did a PE7 isolate or whatever I got from Sandy and Pops. I got off their website. And I did that. And then the next one I had was, I can't remember. But anyways, that one went really well when I had a full flush. It was, well, not full. I would say it's 3/4 flush. But for my first container grow, it worked out really well. And then I did actually what was pan-cyans actually right after that. So I got the manure and I got all that stuff together. So my first 2 grows were GT and PE, PF Tech, then shoebox, or a tote about a little bigger than this. It was a 12-quart Sterilite shoebox. And then so I went from there right into pan-cyan. So I got it to work. I went to Midwest Grow Kits. I ordered their bag of horse manure booster. And what it is, it's like a $6 bag of stuff. You add it in your CVG. So your CVG is then manure based. Basically, you're just adding a couple of cups of manure into your CVG. But it's pasteurized and ready to go in the bag. So you don't have to do anything with it. You just add it to CVG. They still have it. They got a bunch of manure based dung loving, mushroom growing stuff now. If anybody needs any quick, easy stuff, check that out. I actually just ordered 6 pounds of manure off eBay just to try something. Yes, I ordered shit in the mail. Brilliant. So anyways, that's my first few grows. But yeah, if you're starting out, figure out what you want to do, or just experiment and have fun. But if you plan on getting to the point where you're going to be growing tons and tons of mushrooms, that's going to, that's going to take a little time. Oh, cool. Thanks, Ed. I didn't know that. Yeah, check that out, guys. Some cultures are made more for big monotubs. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I just grow everything in whatever it grows, and if it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. But yeah, that's something I should actually keep an eye on. I never even thought of that. A lot of my cultures, I know they've been grown out. What I've gotten them, they've all been grown in shoe boxes or bags. So I don't know. I have to start paying attention. That's a good comment, Ed. Thank you. I never even thought of that. But I have heard that. I just never did it with my stuff. Cool. It's actually not that much. Hey, it's actually just a little bag about this big, but it sounds like a lot. It's like maybe a gallon Ziploc bag size. It's all been field dried or whatever. I forget what they call it. It's not compost. It's just a field aged or whatever it is, sun dried, and then it's ground up and filter or screen for all kinds of crap. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that, because I want to try doing a couple different manure techs just to see if it grows different on a side by side, CVG with, CVG without, see what happens. My buddy Happy, he uses a lot of manure in his stuff lately, and I actually wanted to see, because he did his first few grows. He had 100-gram fruits in his first grow ever, and he was using a manure based substrate. So I want to just test it, see how it goes. Absolutely, Mark. That's absolutely true. The all-in-one bags Jesse over at Jungle Pack has. He does the same thing where he takes a bag and he fits it into the bottom of a tub like this, flat. After it's all mixed up and ready to go, he puts it in there flat and then cuts the edges off after it starts colonizing. But yeah, so it's been a lot of fun getting to grow. So that's how I would start if you guys are just getting started. Now, as far as when you're learning how to collect or use spores and agar and stuff, that's a little more in depth. You're gonna have to do a little research. You're gonna have to get a few things. Um, you're gonna need agar. Someone mentioned putting spores directly in LC. I don't recommend that. Nobody really I know of does. It technically can work, but you're risking a lot putting LC syringe into an LC or spore syringe into LC mix to try to make LC. And you're not going to have as good of a monoculture. You're not going to have a monoculture. You're going to have a mixture of multispore in there. So they're going to have different colonies. So they're going to be competing. I think you'd end up with a little bit weaker of a solution than if you just took your effort and put it into making some either ketchup cup petri dishes, which you can do ketchup cup petri dishes for probably under $20 and have 50 of them. It's not that expensive. And then put a drop of your spore solution on there. Just try to get, and then you have also the opportunity to watch the spores grow on agar. You'll get this, make sure it's clean. That's a big thing. You're going to get to watch the sectors grow. You're going to get to select your own isolations from that plate into new plates. You could take one spore syringe and make it into a month-long journey. I mean, you could have 20 different monocultures from that spore syringe on agar. You could have a lot of fun with one solution and some agar cups. You're going to lose some, probably, most likely, if you don't have a fluid and all that stuff. You're going to lose probably 10% right off the bat. Just going to get contaminated along the way. If you don't, you're lucky. I made cups the other night, and right now they all look perfect. So maybe I got lucky with all of those. But you never know. You're probably I usually lose 1 or 2 out of 100 on ketchup cups. Petri dishes, I seem to get a little bit better of a success rate. But that's just, I've been trying to stay as clean as possible. If you guys saw my live the other day, I got some comments. What the hell? I can't remember the screen name. Steve, he put a posting in the comments. Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. Listing tips for doing ketchup cups, which is great because I'm horrible at making those lists. So I actually edited it a little bit and added it to the description. So there's a little bit more of a detailed list on a couple quick tips. Something like I didn't even think of doing is putting a couple of alcohol soaked paper towels down before you pour. So just a thought, if you guys want to check that out, there's some great advice from Steve in the comments or in my description. Now I added to it. So thank you very much, guys. I absolutely welcome constructive criticism or helpful hints. Don't think I'm going to be offended by it. If you call me an asshole and tell me to go fuck myself that I'm wrong, I might get offended. But if you're just being helpful, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I love it. I'm just putting information out there to try to get you guys thinking, try to get you guys doing things. Yeah, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect at all. I'm just saying this is what I do, and hopefully it helps somebody. But yeah. Oven tech, good. That's awesome, Kit. Oven tech works great for some people. I have a gas oven. It just doesn't seem to work as well for me, and I sweat a lot when I start using it. I did try it, but it's just too hot. I can't sit in front of 200 degrees blowing at me for more than like a minute. But yeah, some people do get away with the oven tech really, really easily. I was lucky. I built myself a fluid after a couple months of growing, or not even a couple weeks. I saw all the different Gordo Tech stuff. And what I did is I actually went on Amazon. I bought a $10 set of filters that were 11 by 13. And what I did is I took those and I made 2 of them side by side into a 13 by 22 inch filter and built a wooden box. So I had that right away. And I had a fan in the garage. Fans have never been an issue for me. My father was an HVAC tech and owned his own business for years. So we had a bunch of fans laying around, or I can find them out of old furnaces at the dump. It's not hard for me to make a fan. But oh, isn't that nice, Mark? Thank you for thanking Ed. Ed's a great guy. Yeah. He has a lot of information to share, and he does share it openly. So I enjoy having him on, and I enjoy being on at the same time. I'm very grateful for all his help as well. Let's see. If anybody has any questions, feel free to pose them. So anyways, back to grain. So you got to get some grains of some sort, and you got a pressure cooker or whatever, or your BRF tech and your 6 squirts and whatever. Get yourself a syringe of LC and not go. You're going to have patience. Things are not going to turn white like this in 2 or 3 days. Okay, it's going to take. You're going to see posts online of somebody saying, my LC is so fire, it colonized my grain in 24 hours. I saw growth in 18 hours. I saw growth in 24 hours. Great. Good for you. I take 3 to 4 days to see any growth at a minimum. Then it can take longer than that. I have jars in here. I was just showing you. Today's what, the 9th or something like that? Or the 8th? Yeah, today's the 8th. Sorry, tomorrow. I have an appointment on the 9th. That's why the 9th is in my head. So anyways, all these jars have been since the 1st of September. So within 7 days, I've started to see growth. Now, in 7 days, to see growth is good. You know, that's more than adequate to see. Let's see. This one here was not okay. This one was the 28th. This one here was the cross I did. I took the albino Normac and crossed it to PMB. I know it's something monkey business or whatever, but I mean, this is after, you know, an initial shake after 3 days, and now it's already starting to colonize. So this is since the 28th of November, but this also just had a shake after 3 days. After it started getting established, I shook it and it started spreading out. So that's how good this bird seed seems to be working for me. So anyways, you're going to need 6-7 days just to see things start going good. Yeah. But so anyways, get yourself a decent LC. It's not going to happen instantly. You're going to learn patience on your first grow, hopefully. If you're in a hurry, you're going to look at it too much, touch it too much, screw it up. Even doing what I'm doing right here, showing you guys, that's risky because you could damage the mycelium. You want to leave it alone. To get a successful grow and not have to worry about it, you want to just inoculate it, leave it alone for 7 days, take a look at it. As long as your mycelium is starting to grow, you could do a little shake or you could leave it. I usually wait till it's about 3/4 of an inch to an inch away from whatever I inoculate with, whether it being agar or the line for the LC that comes down. I usually do a line down the side, and so I make sure I can see something growing. And then after a few days, if I see that starts to colonize, then I do a nice gentle shake just to break that up a little bit, and then let it go from there until it's 80-90% before the next shake. That's what I do. And then after it's 80-90% done, I shake it one last time to make sure there's no hidden contamination. If it recovers pretty quickly, like 2 to 3 days at the most, I'll let it finish completely colonizing. If it's not, and then I'll take it out, put it to grain, or put it to spawn, bulk. Sorry, put it to CVG. But that's yeah, you're gonna get some slow growth at first because some things are slow. And if you get spores, you could be waiting 3 weeks for them to establish. You know, you could be waiting 3, maybe even 4 weeks sometimes if it's a really old or a bad, not bad, an old or a slow grower. I'm sure something like slow growers like penis envy would probably take a lot longer on spore. I don't know. I haven't grown that one from spore. I put all my spores on agar. So let's see. Absolutely, Ed. We are definitely trying to make things better. And yeah, the feedback's incredible. Hey, Steve, I was just talking about you. Maybe you heard me. I was just talking about this is the gentleman, Steve, here that helped me out with putting up a list of comments or hints for doing condiment cups, which is great. Thank you. I have no problem with anybody posting extra help. Like I said, yeah, you want to be constructive. I have no problem with any of that. As long as it's helpful and it's not, you know, if it's wrong, I might mention something's wrong, but if it's not wrong, that means it's right. So why would I have a problem with something being right? I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. And again, I did recorrect. I didn't correct it. I added a little bit to it and put it in the description. But yeah, so thank you very much for that, Steve. And yes, I'm doing good. Anyways, that's basically it, guys. If you want to learn how to grow or you're just starting out, it's really simple. Watch as many videos as you can and don't take anything as fact. Just learn from it. You know, it's not, you're going to hear a lot of people saying a lot of weird things sometimes that just sound funny, and they might be funny. They might be true. Watch a lot of videos. If they have a common denominator, they're probably, you know, going to be pretty safe to go with that, you know, like if you watch 10 videos on how to pressure cook, you're going to see a common thing. Vent it for 15 minutes, run it at 15 PSI for 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on what you're pressure cooking. And a little extra time is not going to hurt, but you're going to get some basics out of that information. So if you watch 10 videos, there's going to be common denominators on that tech in all those videos that they're all doing the same. Everybody on the internet is agreeing. You got to use something like 70% ISO or hydrogen peroxide or something. You got to use a sterilizing spray on everything. So everybody's kind of in consensus about that. So you'll see everybody cleaning. There are going to be the few people that say, you don't need to clean. I do my shit right out in the open and I get 100% success rate. I have a hard time with that. Really do, because I do things as sterile as possible and I don't get 100% success rate. So if somebody's sitting there saying they can do things in the wide open and get 100% success rate, I want to watch start to finish. Let's do it. Let's do a live video of that success rate. let's do a live 2-week session and see how much success you have. If they do, I'll be more than willing to eat crow on that one. But I just have a hard time believing it. 100% success rate of what? Finished product or that thing that they're doing that day? I mean, right here, I have 100% success rate that these 2 agar cups are perfect. Does that mean all of them are? No, but I can still say it. I just have to. There's a lot of crap out there. So try to find common denominators in everybody's text and everybody's videos. If you find something that nobody's talking about, it's probably either gatekept or they just haven't made videos on it yet and start asking around. I mean, most of us are more than willing to experiment and try things that we haven't heard of if they're legitimately possible. If you tell me that if I piss on my grain jars, they're going to grow better, I might not believe you. But then again, maybe in 2 weeks, I might take one out back and piss on it. I don't know. We're kind of willing to do a lot of different experiments to see if we can get things growing better. I don't know why. Keep it simple and they grow. I mean, yeah. Let's see. So anyways, 20 years ago, yeah, I tried that too, Mary Michael, putting stuff in on cardboard. Hey, Stealthy. Nice to see you. I saw your post on Facebook. Looked awesome. I reposted it a few places since everybody on my IG list. I got you up on the screen again. I just saw that your new deck's coming out. Oh, shit. But, yeah, bro, science is real. Thanks, Dick. But yeah, so anyways, that's just, if you guys are going to get started, just keep it simple. You don't need to go crazy. Start off with a PF Tech or just a simple grain MCVG. Oh, you're welcome, Sally. Anytime. I am glad to be of service. Yeah. Just check out videos and you'll learn a lot from different videos. Could be possible. Okay. Yep, absolutely, Kit. Different videos, same. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Common denominators and news and nuance. And even some of the stuff that people aren't telling you that you'll see in videos are things you can learn from. Like, I've gotten to the point where I watch videos and I scream at the people through the video monitor. What are you doing? But it's like, okay, hey, don't do that. But the only reason I'm saying that is because I'm concerned. I'm not going to comment that they're doing anything wrong because that's just rude. People make mistakes, but if they're willing to take the time to make a video and show people what they're doing, it happens. Thanks, Ed. I have no idea how to even start doing anything like that. I am so scatterbrained. At least I feel like I'm scatterbrained when I'm talking to people. I don't have my thoughts don't come out in a linear line, so it's kind of hard for me to put things on paper. Like I was saying about Steve typing up those tips, I would not have been able to do that same thing. I would be able to correct, reorganize it or make it look good, but I couldn't come out with the thoughts because my brain would go. I would be writing comment or tips on how to pour ketchup cups, and somewhere in there I'd be talking about LC or I go all over. So it might take me a little while to figure out how to write a book. You need to write a book. You need to write a book, a couple books. Let's see what I did. You know what, Daniel? That thing you were saying about pulling cardboard apart, I've seen a couple people doing that online, different videos. Who was it? It was a lady. Oh, you guys, this is hilarious. There's a new lady doing videos. I think her name is Suzy or Suez. She's doing a great job. But it was funny because I did that live feed of the ketchup cups, and literally the next morning, like 8 hours later, she posted a video of her doing ketchup cups, and they were very, very similar. I don't know if you guys get a chance, go check her out. She has a weird name. Her name is Sue or Suzy or Sue space Z. I'll get it and I'll post it on my in the comments, guys. But she's doing great. She's working with Horatium and I believe she's working with cubes too, but she doesn't post about them. But she's doing lion's mane, all this kind of cool stuff, and she was literally pouring ketchup cups in a very similar way to how I poured them. She literally took them out of the bag, put them off to the side, and did everything the same kind of similar way. It was kind of cute. It was just cool to see somebody else doing something very similar, and within 8 hours, because there's been a lot of actually questions about ketchup cups. So she was probably seeing the same ones, and that's probably decided to do it. Or you're just being friendly, which was great. I love the fact that people were posting all this stuff. But it was so cool. I'm looking online. And I see this notice come up because I'm following her subscribed. It's just something ketchup K cup pouring something like that. And then I watched it. I'm like, wow. And if it wasn't so soon after my video, I would have thought she made it after mine. But it wasn't. It was literally she had been working on it, so she probably had it done before I made mine. But it was posted about an hour or a couple 8 hours after I did the live Friday. So it was just kind of cool. So I guess other people do some more ways of doing things. It was kind of nice. Glad I wasn't completely off base with my pouring. But it's been so long, I actually could have done it a little better. I shouldn't have used the pan I used to pour on. It was small, but it was first time I poured ketchup cups with the new setup with the hood. I need to get a different tray that's tall enough to fit across the whole front of the hood, and it needs to be wider because normally I would do like she did with putting out the cups and pouring them and putting them down. But I was trying to do it just the normal, just one row at a time, showing small amounts for people to get the hang of it. I'll do it better. I'll do another video eventually, or another live. I'll do a better video of it eventually. But if there's already videos up there, I probably don't have to. But yeah. So anybody that saw it, I was trying to work under a new situation too, and I haven't done those in a while. They came out fine. A little bit on the sides on some of them, like they tip a little, so they got a little on the. Well, these two are fine. But yeah, it's live and learn. Like anything else, I do things wrong. I mess things up. What's that? I'm trying to read what you're saying here. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I get excited. I definitely do get excited and start speaking too fast, and I get, it's what I am. Not much I can do about it. It's better than the alternative, being asleep in the corner, not doing anything. So let's see what this is saying. What you saying? Married Myco so long ago. Soaked cardboard, and I did it. I did an experiment about, I don't know, 6 months ago. This is not an experiment. I did a fuck around and find out. I took a bunch of cardboard strips and I'd stripped them off, but I soaked them in like an LC broth, and then I threw them in a jar with dog fur, dog food, some rice, and just packed a jar full of just junk, just stuff you'd find around the house, just organic stuff. Sealed it, pressure cooked it, sterilized it. It was a little watery inside. I inoculated it with some agar chunks, and it actually started growing. I actually had mycelium jumping from the agar to the cardboard, from the cardboard to the dog fur. It didn't like dog food as much, though. Kind of stayed away from that. And it did start colonizing. It ended up contaminating. I'm not going to, because I think I opened it. I was trying to, it got contaminated, but I think it was kind of interesting that it would actually grow from anything to anything. It jumped on the dog fur with no problem. I was trying to see if it would grow on buddy fur. But yeah, it was just for fun, just something to do. I had extra thin cardboard. It was there's certain boxes that come, they're real thin. They're corrugated, but they're thin wall. I don't know how to describe it. I have one right here, but they're thin. They're about 1/8 of an inch wide cardboard, and they're really easy to strip, and you end up with really nice clean cardboard. And I was hearing a couple of people talking about using cardboard and petri dishes and this and that. And I said, I'm just gonna shove some in a jar and see what happens. And it did work. Then there's people growing on books and stuff. They soak them up and inoculate them with grain on books. So there's stuff to grow anywhere, and that was kind of fun to do. Yeah, definitely things have gotten better the past 20 years about for contamination. I'm sure 25, 30, like first time I ever grew was in the late 90s. I got some spores from somewhere online or on the back of a book or wherever you get them back in 98, 99, maybe 2000. And so I got some spores and I got some PF cakes going. I ended up doing like 20 of them. I think maybe one or two fully colonized. Then went bad ones, so I dunked them or whatever. It was just, I didn't know what to do. But yeah. And I was also putting spores directly in them, so you never know with spores. Back then, I don't know how clean stuff was either. I honestly don't know how clean stuff is nowadays, as far as spore syringes and stuff. That's one of my things. I might try to make a couple spore syringes one of these days. Yeah, definitely, Mike. Well, you're near me, aren't you? Yeah, you're in Massachusetts, right? Yeah, we'll have to put a bunch of us together in Massachusetts. We'll get a bunch of people together. I know I just sent something to somebody in Boston. Um, so yeah, so I got somebody. I don't know him. I mean, I sent him some stuff in Boston. He's a good guy. We've talked a few times. Ace, you'll see him. I think he's somewhere near Boston, not necessarily in Boston, but around Boston area. And I'm in the Worcester area. So yeah, Mike, you're in the South Shore. Yep. Yep. So there's other people too. I met oh, there's another guy, Al. Al's from somewhere in Massachusetts, from T Crew. There's about 5 or 6 of us that I know of in Massachusetts. I mean, I'm sure it could be a lot more. Just getting to know who's there and who's there, who's where and what. So, what the hell's my father doing? Hammering something. Oh, he might be cooking some food or something. Yeah. It's kind of weird when you're in the basement. All of a sudden, you'll hear things and it's just weird. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, Pacers. No, he was in here at the beginning of the chat. Pacers. His screen name is Ace again or something like that. I know. I know his email contact. And I've seen his name a few times on here, but I go by. Everybody has so many different names. It's hard to keep track. So I know his name starts with Ace something. Yeah. Right, Ed, wasn't that cool? Stealthy. I mean, that was awesome. He contacted me about that. I couldn't believe it. I was freaking in shock. What? Yeah, I think it's great. He's taking care of not just the popular people on vendors and stuff like that. He's actually going out to the little guy like me and helping us get a little bit of more into the community, I guess what you would call it, or history, like Ed's saying. But yeah, it's fucking cool. Or it's really cool. But also, you gotta check it out. The Michael Mamas, they got a card. Angel at Entheogenic, Princess of Cubenzi, she got a card. I watched the video of Stealthy earlier, and I saw a bunch of different cards, different vendors, different heroes, different. I guess that's the challenge, is to be able to move from a cultivator to a vendor to a hero card and see how long that process possibly could take you. There you go. That's something you could think of doing. Stealthy upgrades, like you get an upgrade card, you become a hero from a lowly, grain maker. So you know what I mean? Just something like that. That'd be kind of cool to do too. So people could change their skin or their style, or I don't know, whatever. Be a kind of cool idea. See how people grow over the years. Maybe it get some value to the cards among the community. Who knows? Absolutely nerdy. I gotta get a deck too. I think I gotta see if I can get some extra Allen cards in that deck too, or whatever, so I can send them to people or whatever. I gotta talk to Stealthy, see how much they are. I gotta get some. Yeah, there is Pacers. It's an actual Stealthy Spores game. It's like a Magic Gathering style. I don't know how the rules go, but it's an actual game where people sit down and they use the cards and play with each other. So yeah, it's kind of cool. From what I've heard, I haven't been able to play it because I don't have anyone near me. I guess the next thing would be for Stealthy to make an app, have the Stealthy Spores app. It'd be kind of cool. There you go, Pacers. Check it out. The link's right on the bottom of the screen up here. But yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, live it would be easy. I don't know if there would be cheating or anything, but that would kind of be stupid. But yeah, that would be cool. Live stream a game, that would be really cool. Or have like one camera over a table or something, and then have the picture of each player on the table display or something for a live video. I'm sure anybody that does any coding could do something like that, where you have your live stream, like you would have like a work meeting or whatever. I don't know what that's called, the Google Live or whatever. And then instead of having the background have all the pictures around, have it like a poker table, and then have each person's picture and card that they play or something. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll have to figure that out, guys. Maybe we'll have a Sunday brunch then afterwards. Have a Stealthy Spore chick game or something every other week or something, or once a month we could have something. But yeah, we'll figure something out, guys. We'll be able to get that going. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I better put some of these comments up so people understand what I'm talking about. I figured out I got it. That Ed does a great job. He puts every comment up. That way, there people know what we're talking about. I just thought of that the other day. That if I don't post the comments, because I was watching I rewatch my stuff just to make sure I'm not sounding stupid or whatever, so I know what to do better next time. But yeah, I realized that if I don't put the comments on the screen, people aren't going to know what we're talking about. Because a lot of times I'll be like, "Oh, thanks, Pacer," but I didn't do that and put his comment up, or or that. So, I got to start doing that more often. Yeah, absolutely. Check out Stealthy Spores. The screen's on the bottom for his website, stealthyspores.com or something like that. I can't remember. stealthyspores.com. Yeah, absolutely. So check him out. And if anybody missed it, I do have a new Ko-Fi account that I'm putting content on. To check that out too. That'll have up in a minute on the screen. I'll throw that up there real quick. And if anybody's interested in that, you can check that out. That one. So I have that set up now, and I'm going to be posting pictures on there of different grows and different stuff. Right now, there's about, I don't know, maybe a dozen pictures on there, maybe less. Just different things. I got some spores on there, just a picture of the spores under a microscope. Just a few little things I put up there just to get things started. Basically, it's going to be a backup content place. So check that out. It's also a place to allow for tipping and stuff like that, and the vend and stuff eventually. So we'll figure that out. So that's up there too. Also, guys, check out Ed's Spore Shop at Spore Swaps. He's got some great genetics. He's got plenty of spores and all kinds of stuff you can get from Ed. I ordered a few spores from him a couple times, and they all work out pretty much perfect. Some take a couple days longer than others, but that's just the way spores work. You get 2 swabs, very reasonably priced. He shows pictures of each strain that he has swabs for up there, so it's kind of nice. You click on it, and you see the little bottom. There's going to be a picture of swabs, and then next to it, there's going to be little pictures of the fruits. So it's kind of nice to be able to see what the spores could look like. I mean, there's always going to be little differences from spores, but yeah. So that's kind of cool. Check him out too, Dr. Ed Spore Swaps. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll just put my stuff back up. Oh yeah, take a look at that, guys. It's sorry, I'm trying to figure out the banners and stuff. There we go. I'll just put mine up for now. Anyways, there we go. But yeah, check out those guys. Stealthy Spores, Ed Graham Spore Swaps. Check out my stuff. I can contact you if you need anything. DM me. I don't work I'm not a vendor. I just, if you need something I got, we can make a deal and figure it out. So yeah. Yep, absolutely. 52A, yeah, like a poker night, but with Stealthy Spore cards. That'd be cool if we could do it online too, because that way most of us are in different areas. Like I'm in Massachusetts, others in Colorado, Michigan, Oklahoma. I mean, I have friends all over the freaking world now. I got a good friend, a new friend in India, guy in Thailand. Nice. Ed's got stickers. Yeah, I ordered stickers like a while back. I got to get some new ones. But yeah, I did make a sticker. I just went on, Amazon and got stickers. I didn't go anywhere fancy. Well, cool. It's got stickers. Hey guys, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them up on the screen. I'd be happy to answer. Sorry, I'm just thinking. What the heck what else was I going to talk about? Oh, right here next to me. Anyways, I got to work on the little containers. Okay. So I made a couple of these. These are AA plus. They're going in the tent after the live, but I want to show you guys how nice they're colonizing. Oh, nice. So the new little totes and the more hydrated CVG is working better. These I did on 12/1, so 7 days, and they're ready to go in the fruiting chamber. A little bit awkward to open, but that's not bad for 7 days and colonizing. So these are going in there next. They're going to be open and put on the shelf, so they're ready to go. So that's how the AA plus. I don't know what that is. It's AA plus. I don't know what it is. I gotta find out. Yes, absolutely. Ed Campbell is great. I actually use Bing for my AI pictures, but that's just because I'm used to it. It's probably just as good as the rest. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't do good with lettering. If you type in words, you're gonna have to try a bunch of times because it screws up lettering completely. But yeah, Canva. I saw a thing post on Instagram about taking 15 minutes a day to learn different AI techniques. I might actually click on it to find out what the list of different things to learn is because I think I can do a lot more with AI. Yeah, we can talk later, Pacers, whatever you need. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Uh, Absolutely. Definitely. We need some new things to talk about. Good. Actually, you're all set, Pacers. I'll talk to you later after we get done. I can talk you through it or whatever. Anything you need, just let me know. Albino A plus. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Nerdy. I couldn't tell. I thought A plus was albino. I don't know the culture. That's why I have to grow everything because I don't know what these things should look like. And even if you Google it, sometimes you don't get the same picture. You get different pictures of the same name, and it's difficult sometimes to. Everybody needs to put a picture of whatever their named fruit is next to it somewhere, or at least have it somewhere. So if you call them up, or if you DM them, they can send you a picture of it. You don't necessarily have to put it on the website or up the vending, but have a definite picture of your fruits if you guys are selling spores, so that people can see what they look like. I have a real, like I have AA plus. I would love to go find a picture of it so I know what that's going to look like, but I'll know soon enough. But I'd rather have a picture sometimes just to be able to see it. Well, yeah. Oh, it's leucistic. Cool. I'm actually happy about that. Thank you. I have been wanting to grow a leucistic albino, or not albino, but you know what I mean. Um, a white leucistic fruit for a while now. Thank you. Good to know. I thought for a while it was Avery's albino. But I don't know. That was why I got AA plus. Somebody sent me a plate, and yeah, I understood Pacers. I see all the comments, even if you delete them. So just so you guys know, if you delete something, I still see it and I might read it. So um, careful. Just careful. Because I've done that too. Like I've typed things like on different lives, like Ed does a live, and I'll type something and I want to correct it, so I'll delete it, and he'll read it, and it'll be a stupid statement because it doesn't come out right or something got typoed, and that's what happens sometimes, guys. Actually, when you delete a comment, it doesn't delete it on the host side, so we still see things that are deleted. I've actually seen it happen many times on everybody's lives. We still see your comments, so unless we're seeing the bottom of the comments and says, "Don't look at that comment" or something. I don't even know how to correct that, but we still see all the comments if you guys both delete them. It only deletes it on basically your screen and the viewer screen. It doesn't delete it on the host screen. Just so you know. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Pacers. If you have no problem doing it, yeah, use it. Um, if I have issues with them, just because actually I don't have issues with it now. I'm doing much better with liners. They're working out much better in the shoe boxes. I got a couple shoe boxes, but what I'm doing is I'm taking like a bag like this, opening it, and then I put the whole thing in the bag and then pour it down, then cut it. Instead of cutting out a liner and trying to hold it in place, I just put the whole tub in the bag and then fill the bag so that it's a new bag, so it's still going to be clean. So I do that now. So I'm actually having much better luck. These I don't use liners yet. I have a couple that I started using liners. I'm gonna try. I just didn't on these. I got I got one in there with a liner. I think. Yeah, I got a couple with the red liners. I just put the whole thing in, and but yeah, you could use liners as long as you got one to use. Oh, cool. Well, nerdy. I've had Happy and I both had Starry Night or Snape. Oh wait, no, Starry Night's not Snape. Starry Night, I don't know that one. I know Starry Night and Crossword Ape is Snape. I don't know what Starry Night. I think they have the target looking blue spot on the top usually. Starry Night. They should be albino with like a blue, looks like a target symbol on top. It's not perfect target, but they could be all white too. I've seen both in the same tub. I was actually just looking at some earlier on Facebook. Might have been Facebook, or I was checking all my stuff earlier, but I saw a picture of Starry Night, and it did have like a target shape on the front, on the top of the cap. Yep, definitely do make cleanup a lot easier. I'm finding that as well. And also, if you do get a cake that contaminates, it makes it a lot easier that you can just pull the whole thing and go outside and throw it out. You don't have to try to, you can take it out of, clean up. Same thing. Clean up is a lot easier. Absolutely. Rusty White and Great White Monster. Oh, Great White Monster. I got a friend of mine. He's getting that. So hopefully I'll be able to get a sample from him eventually. Who was it? Happy Dirt Dude won a giveaway on Instagram for a 7-pound all-in-one bag from I don't remember the name of the company off the top of my head, but he won that in the culture, and he got the Great White Monster. I heard it's really nice, big, so I want to try that. So hopefully he'll make me a plate of it. We trade all kinds of stuff. That's guys, if you have stuff and you want to trade, just hit me up. We can trade. I'll make a plate, you make a plate, or we can make something and just send it back and forth. If we're trading, we each cover our own shipping. If you just want something, you might need, if I'm just sending you something, sometimes I need shipping. But if I'm just trading, we can trade, no problem. Great White Monster. Yeah. Oh, so Ed, on this comment here where you're saying Rusty White, I know Rusty White's leucistic. Is the Great White Monster leucistic too? That's cool. I hope it is, but I want to try that. You gave it a test run last night. It's fire. Nice. What was that? The Snape or Starry Night? So I'm gonna go back to this comment. Nerdy, if you give it a new name, isolate your own clone before you do that. Like, if that's the way I would do it. If I want to name something and I grow it from spore or from whatever, I would say go to spore, get a new flush of T0, multi-spore flush, pick out a fruit that you like, clone it, and then name it. I mean, you could do that. That would be really the best. That would be the most. If you just rename a clone or a, that's just kind of like renaming something. I don't know if that's up to you, but I wouldn't do that. I would actually grow out a spore or at least get a cool mutation or something, isolate it, and then rename it. That would be perfectly cool for anybody to do. So I'm glad it's good though. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to place my spawn and sub on a half trash bag like PGD video. Yeah, Pacer, that works. I'm just saying there's an easier way to do it. If I don't know what you're using. Are you using a shoebox or are you using a modified mono tub or something? Because if you're using like a shoebox or something smaller, you can put the bag, once you cut the bag into a square, it kind of makes it a little awkward to get everything packed in nicely. If you leave the bag bigger, it's easier than cut the bag after. It's the same. The tech's the same. It's just a plastic liner. But yeah, good luck. We'll talk about it if you want. I have no problem helping you out. Starish night. Yeah, Derek, that's cool. Starish night. Or cloudy night. Cloudy, starry night. Yep, absolutely. That's what I learned now. That's how I learned some of my stuff. Everything he does is on the internet. Yeah, let's see, this one starts out red, orange pin. Cool. That definitely, I don't know what Starry Night should look like. So the only ones I saw were the ones with the white, or they were albino with a white, like blue target shape on them. Yep, there's so many strains, Mike, and they all come from like one or two, I guess, from what I'm kind of figuring out. Like, you have the originals like GT, B plus, and Penis. They're all like the original strains, and they're all basically mutations from those along the way. I'm sure there's more, but mutations and isolations are just different. I guess it's like everything kind of goes back to a brown cap when you put it outside in nature after a while. I guess like albinos, if you take your cakes and put them outside, and the next time they grow, they'll be like brown caps or something. From what I've been hearing on the internet, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. Okay, cool. Starry Night. Yeah, but the one I saw, Daniel had like a whitish gray cap, but there was like dark blue rings, like a Target, like if you saw a Target. Oh yeah, that's what I heard. They get huge. Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah, I was hearing they were like 100 to 150 grams fresh sometimes, so that'll be fun to grow. Oh, there you go, nerdy. If you start from spore, do whatever you want with your clone. Name it whatever you want. It's perfectly fine as far as I'm thinking. You know, I'm not giving you permission. You can do what you want. I'm just saying that's, you know, they won't be frowned on at all. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try to stabilize it, but I mean, if you grow it once, I mean, clone your favorite. If it grows again, the same thing, start extending it. I mean, it might change a little bit, but if you're dealing with nature, you guys, we shouldn't be trying to get specific cookie cutter looks. I mean, we should just have some fun. Oh, cool. We got a question, Damien. I'm growing in a shoebox. Do I continue to mist now that I have fruits popping? No, don't miss your surface. I would just make sure the edges of the shoebox or your whatever is, humid, but you don't want to miss your fruits or your pins directly. Um, behind me, I have a tent here. It's like a big fruiting table. Oh, the light's off for some reason. Why is the light off? Hold on, guys. My light's off. Whoa, walk much? I got a big fruiting chamber back here, so everything in here stays nice and humid, so I don't have to mist anything. Like I'll show you a shoebox. Like this shoebox is getting ready to fruit. So I do have a liner on here, as you can see, but what I do is I just leave it in there just like this. I don't mist this at all. It just stays in there in the humidity, so no misting. But if you have like if you had a shoebox like that inside of a tub, like inside of a box like this, you'd want to mist the walls of the tub, not the actual surface. So yeah, I wouldn't miss the fruits at all. I don't usually miss it all anyway. So once that's gone in the fruiting like that, I don't miss that unless it like. I mean, if it was dried out or if something happened, I might give it like a overall misting of the whole room, but not really. I wouldn't miss the cake with fruit on it at all. I mean, if you see like dry spots on the substrate that you can maybe get a little spritz on, it's not really worth it because your fruits are going to get wet, and then best case scenario, they're going to just not. They're going to be slimy or something. I wouldn't miss the fruit once they start growing. I wouldn't miss them that much after the first, once you get them in the fruiting container of whatever sort you're using. Like if you're dub tubbing, you have a shoebox on a shoebox, miss the top one. Don't miss the bottom one. And make sure it's not dripping onto the fruit. That can cause issues. Welcome, Partha from India. Oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's the tent I was putting in my videos. But yeah, how are you today, Partha? Hope all is well. I gotta figure out why the light wasn't on. I think I got my timer messed up. I did an accident. The timer I have on my light is separate from my heat and stuff situation for the tent. It has a button on the bottom that you can just turn it to on, so it's always on or it's on the timer. I accidentally left it on for like 2 days and I didn't realize it, so it went back to the regular cycle Saturday, yesterday morning. So I got to check the timer because I think the time is off. I think it thinks it's nighttime right now for some reason. I don't know why. It should be daytime for at least 7 more hours. So I usually go from 9 to 9. We'll figure it out after. Partha is my friend from India that is making me some 3D printings. So hopefully they'll get here soon. I got to make sure that I tried it out. I got a couple of jars of Spawn that I'm waiting on using because I want to try this new press he made me. Yeah, if the humidity in your tent or tub is fine, then you don't need the mist, really. It's a great advice. That's where I got the advice from Ed, from you. Absolutely. That's what I got going on here. I just leave it alone. Once a day I open it up. That gives me enough fresh air exchange from what I've seen. I just cycled out all my old stuff that didn't that was done. Those little tiny trays I was doing, they dried out way too much, so I just got rid of them all. Actually, I didn't get rid of them all. I crushed them all up into a big bin to see what happens. So at the bottom of the tent, I have a big a micropose medium-sized mono tub, and I took a white bag like those I was just showing you. I took all the little substrate cakes. They were dry. They were like almost bone dry. I broke them all up, added a half gallon of water and some substrate, and threw it all in there, packed it down. It's starting to colonize, but we'll see. I had this thought that once you have a substrate colonized, I know if you put like two different strains in one substrate or in one grain jar, the stronger one's going to fight and survive or whatever. But if you already have a colonized cake and you crush it up and mix it in, would the grain in the colonized cake that refruits be that's going to have different strains all over the new cake? Just something to do for fun. I'm not trying to say it's a tech by no means. But yeah, I just threw them all in that box and I broke them all up into like half-inch chunks. Threw them all in a bag, mixed in some water to moisten them up, and then added some new CBG in, and I packed it all down. So I have all different strains mixed together in that tub for their second flush to see what happens. Yeah, I figured it just could look cool if like 5 or 6 of the different strains grow in different spots or grow together. It might look cool. I am no by means thinking they're going to cross or anything like that. I just think if I have a chunk of albino here and a chunk of GT here, why wouldn't they grow their own color fruit off of them? Why would they, they don't need to do anything at that point. It's just Omni cake. Thanks, nerdy. Yeah, it's just something for fun to see what happens. But I know when they're colonizing grain or something, if you mix a couple things, it usually doesn't turn out both. It would be one or the other. But since it's already colonized the grain and already colonized the substrate, just been broken up again, they should stay separate, mixed in, and just absorb the water, I'm thinking. We'll see what happens. It's just something to do. But yeah, so that's my little experiment down at the bottom of the thing. Oh, here we go. Question, Samuel. I keep getting only biodegradable liners from the market. Would it be fine to use them, or would the mycelium just eat that up too? I don't know. I would think so. I had these aluminum trays that I was using, and the mycelium started eating some of those. So I think we'd have to use regular plastic for lack of mycelial degradation of the material. But yeah, no, I think it might start eating it. I don't know. Do an experiment. Take a side by side, one with that, one with something else. See what happens after a month. See if it's eating it. Yep, definitely, absolutely. That's what Nerdy's saying. Try to fuck around and find out. Just document. Take some pictures. Take your picture. Do one of each with the same exact amount of grain in each one. Mix them up. Put them in the same conditions. Put the 2 tubs. Make smaller shoe boxes, like 6 squirts, and just test it. See what happens. If after the first flush, second flush, you notice one bag's starting to be eaten away, tell people, and then we'll know. That's a great idea. Something to do. I mean, that's what this hobby is all about, is finding something to do, guys. I mean, we're not, if you're in it just to grow mushrooms and make money and sell illegal stuff, you're talking to the wrong person. I'm not in here to show you how to do that. That's easy. If you want to grow 1,000 monotubs, one strain, and just get a ton of fruit, that's easy because you're doing one thing and one fruit only, and you're not going to have as many variables of like experimenting and finding out. You're going to get one strain, you're going to figure it out, you're going to get all its needs and wants figured out, and you're done. That's your whole life, is cleaning monotubs, regrowing them, or bags, and that's what you're going to do for your hobby. Now, if you want to have fun and enjoy doing different things in this hobby, now you can have other hobbies and still do that. But if you're just doing this for fun, that's where I'm at. That's what I enjoy doing. So, yeah, that's well, let's see here. Yeah, I have like 10 tubs sitting out there that I got to clean. Shoe boxes. They've been rinsed, but they haven't been cleaned before used. I always wash them one more time. Let's see. I wonder if anyone has tried sonicating 2 LC dicaryons together. I don't know what that is, Ed, to be honest with you. You're beyond me on that comment. You're definitely on a different level with that comment for me. Sonication. I don't know what that is. Sonicator. I gotta find out down. No, I got something to do for the rest of the day. Figure out what a sonicator is. Happy! What's going on? What's a sonicator? You guys are getting way too tech. Oh, but like a sonic, like a ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, okay, I got a ultrasonic cleaner. I got a big one. It's like 12 by 24. It's a nice size one, about 10 inches deep. It's a commercial one my father has in the garage for cleaning parts. Yep. Okay, so okay, now I know what sonication is, but how would that? Okay, so let's go back up here. Sonicating two LC. So sonicating, like putting the LC solution in a sonicator or in the solution in the sonic ultrasonics. Maybe they might combine. I don't know. Well, I don't know if that would break up the. Yeah, I don't know. Now you got me thinking, Ed. Wonder what that would do for like just like putting spores in a LC. Would that lighten up the or vibrate the spores to break them open quicker? I don't know. Okay, time to think. Super vibrators. Yeah, we're not that channel happy. That's the channel over there. Just kidding. Yeah, it probably would kill it, nerdy. I don't know. It's like spores got to be careful with them. But yeah, thing I always wonder about spores is how come spores don't germinate in the solution like the water? I know there's some reason, but it's like why don't they germinate in the spore syringes? If you if they don't germinate in the spore solution, why not just use water storage for like spores and stuff? Which I guess that's kind of what it is. But I was curious. You put it on water agar and it grows. Why aren't the spores germinating in the spore syringe? I don't know. I always thought the spore syringe solution was something special that didn't allow it to germinate. That's what I originally thought. I don't know now. I just know that it works. But it's kind of curious as to why it doesn't. Yeah, there you go. Possibly. Well, something to do. I'll take all my spore syringes and throw them in the freaking tonicator. Well, I understand there's no nutrients, kid. I do understand that there's no nutrients in the syringe, but we now germinate spores on water agar that doesn't have any nutrients, unless the agar or the gellan gum has enough nutrients. But I got water agar that I'm using to germinate spores, and it's working just fine. So if the moisture is getting the spores to germinate, why aren't they germinating in the syringe? Maybe it's the air. Maybe it's oxygen availability. I don't know. I've always been curious about that. Huh. Just something I was always curious about. I know there's no nutrients. I know that. That's not. Yeah, nerdy. I might play with that. I did use the ultrasonic thing to what was it, to do some try to extract lion's mane and mushroom and just a couple of different mushrooms, the good ones. Um, I did do that and I made some liquid. It tasted fine. It worked fine. But it wasn't a big question. Hey, Mass Mofo. Reheating BRF cakes because neglected them and didn't not go. Oh, so you're re-sterilizing. Okay. Okay, are you taking them out of the jars and like remixing them and then repacking them? I don't see what there'd be a problem with that. I mean, you're not if they haven't been inoculated, like you just basically took some stuff from the shelf that never got used and you're re-sterilizing it, right? I don't see a problem with that. I've done it with agar. I've done it with substrates and stuff like that, like CVG. I've taken and re-cleaned it, re-sterilized it. So, oh yeah, exactly. If it unless it's dried out because of the vent holes on the surface, nerdy. Um. Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you, Third Farmer. I was kind of curious. That was just weird. Um. Yeah, if it like Nerdy's saying, if it was sterilized the first time, it should be fine. But they also, if you have the micropore tape over the holes in the lid, they could dry out a little bit or a lot. That's the only reason I'm thinking. But yeah, if you're just reheating, and no, you should rehydrate them and then repackage them, like take them out, make sure there's enough moisture in it, then pack them back in new jars, and then put some vermiculite on top, and then pressure cook it. That might be better. But yeah, as long as there's nothing growing on the BRF cakes, I don't see why you can't reinvigorate them with water and sterilize them. But I would make sure they're at the right water level moisture level, humidity level. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Turd farm. I just said that. That's maybe it's the oxygen because you get a plate open, they have oxygen availability. Yeah, I've never seen it. I've never had a spore syringe that long. I'm not sure about spores or some seeds or flies. Okay, yeah, maybe it is the water, the oxygen. I don't know. I Yeah, when I do seeds, I always just put them on a wet paper towel, but I do close the towel over it. So, but there's probably more oxygen available. I don't know. Just a thought I always had about the spore syringes, why they're not germinating. Because you'd think if they just need moisture to get them working. I don't know. Something similar, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just a question I was thinking about, Partha. It's not an issue. I just thought about it one day. So, what the heck was I going to show? Oh, I think maybe this is the pile I was going to show you guys. I had a pile of pinning plates. Got a GT that's throwing up some fruits on the plate. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there. It was really cool. What I wanted to show you. Where'd it go? Of course, it's not going to be where I put it. Oh, this guy keeps falling all over the place. Hello, Professor Mushroom. Oh, here we go. Remember the lion's mane plate? It's still growing. When I put a bunch of holes in the top, it's still growing. Hasn't grown out the holes yet, but it's getting close. Okay, I don't have it. I thought I did. It must be somewhere else. I'm not going to go digging through everything. Oh, I don't know where it went. I had a few plates I wanted to show you guys that had a bunch of fruit growing on them. Bunch of pins on the plates, but I don't have them anymore. I have them. I just don't have them right here anymore. So we'll find them some other time. But maybe this is Oh, here we go. This one. This is a Smurf. It's got a plate pin on it. That's about. It's huge. Look at that plate pin there. So, anyways, I'm thinking of cloning that little guy. And then I got that blue peyote from you, Ed. And this was my first transfer, and it's growing so thick it's starting to grow up the walls of the plate. I have another one that's literally almost out of the plate. I don't know where it went. I wanted to ask you about that actually. If that's horrible for it. I'm not going to use it, of course. I'm going to transfer it, but I thought you'd be interested to see how fast that thing grows. This blue peyote I got from Spore from you, Ed. Look at the thing growing literally up the sides and almost out of the plate already. And this was just from middle of September. It's already almost out of the plate. It's growing over the edge of the plate and coming up the parafilm or the grafting tape. It's kind of weird. But I got to transfer out of it, but I just thought that was kind of neat that, in 2 months, to blow them over, it starts growing out of the plate, growing off the edges of the plate. Yeah. Yeah. Kim and MVP sent this to me. I keep them around just to keep an eye on everything. Don't let them near the hydrator, though, because they'll eat your fruit. I think it's the oxygen also they need to breathe to germinate. Okay, yeah, okay, then that makes perfect sense. I just always wondered off the top of my head, just not something I've ever put to question. But yeah, okay, makes sense. But yeah, so anyways, if anybody has any more questions, you can ask them, or we're gonna probably wrap it up for today. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I gotta go feed Buddy and take him out for his afternoon walk. Again, if anybody has any questions and you don't feel like posting it here, you can easily DM me after or email me. Yeah, check out the new Ko-Fi thing. I got the link. I'll put that up one more time. It's like Ko-Fi, like coffee, buy me a coffee type thing. That's what it's actually supposed to be. But I figure why not I already got $22. So I got a bunch of tips. You can give $1, you can give 10 cents. I mean, you don't have to give anything, but I'm just saying that it's a different type of it's like, I don't know if you've seen the super chat they have on YouTube where people click and the money goes. That's basically the same thing, but I can't do super chat because I don't have enough followers or subs and stuff like that. And people keep asking me, hey, where can we do your super chat and this and that? And I just don't have it. I had like 10 people asking me. I said, okay, well, here, I'll set this up. And so, yeah. So yeah, you can check that out. I'm gonna post a bunch of pictures and stuff on there. I'm gonna keep it as like a backup site, just to have all kinds of pictures of stuff. I don't know what the rules are over there, but I'm gonna post pictures and see what happens. I've seen all kinds of other pictures on there, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue. It's a private thing. It's not like it's not public, so you'd have to be seeing me somewhere to go there and look at everything. But anybody can go there. You just have to know to go there. So I think it might get a little better from time because the way that the META group of programs is working lately, people are not happy. I haven't noticed anything on my accounts yet, but I'm sure eventually I will. I hope I don't. I try to stay as neutral as possible with everybody. I honestly don't have any strong feelings towards anybody in a bad way, so I hope they don't feel that way towards me. So, but yeah. Anyways, what's up? Have fun, Mike. Okay. So, anyways, guys, we're gonna call it a day. I appreciate you guys showing up. If you have any questions, you can DM me or email me. My email is on the screen now at the bottom. MycoAlan@gmail.com. I also have Facebook, IG, Ko-Fi, and I do have a Discord, but I don't know how to use it yet. Still working on that. It's something guild, Grand Guild or Genetic Guild. It got a name change all of a sudden. I don't know what happened with that. But the creator, I don't know where he is. He disappeared. I'm trying to talk to him. I can't get a hold of him for anything. Not that I need anything from him. I'm just kind of worried at this point. I don't know what happened to him. Wayne Michael, if you guys hear this, hit me up. I'm just kind of curious if you're okay. But yeah, you guys have a great day. And let me say goodbye to everybody here. Bye, Partha. Bye, Derek. Bye, Mike. Happy, have a great day. Mike, Fireball, have a good day. Nerdy, Super Fundo back. Kit, thanks for coming. JB, Jason, JC Cat, thanks for showing up. Nice to see you. Ed, thanks for stopping in. That was great to hear you contribute today. Thank you very much. I appreciate the help. And Pacers, you have a great day. Much love. Bye, everybody.